Good morning, eighth graders. How are you? Are you good? Inshallah, I hope so. Today we'll talk about a new unit, which is Unit 19. There are four lessons in this unit. Today we'll start with the new lesson 19.1, interrupting and drawing frequency diagrams. Interrupting, it means explaining or discussing or describing data. The first way is the frequency diagram. There is a note. I explain this note by the following example. To draw a frequency polygon, you plot the frequency against the midpoint of the class interval. Let's take the following example. The table shows the mass of the students in class 8A. Now this is the table. Look, how can I read or understand this table? Here the mass between 40 and 50. There are four values between 40 and 50. 40 is included and 50 is not included because here less than or equal to 40. Just here less than. So there are four values between 40 and 50. There are 12 values between 50 and 60. There are 8 values between 60 and 70. Now here the question, copy and complete the table, which is you need to fill this column. I already completed this one. Look, how can I find the midpoint? The midpoint is halfway, or in the middle. The midpoint is the middle of this interval, 40 and 50. How can I find the midpoint between 40 and 50? Look, how can I find it? Add 40 plus 50 divided by 2. 40 plus 50 divided by 2, which is 45. Here, 50 plus 60 divided by 2, which is 55. Here, 60 plus 70 divided by 2, which is 65. Since here 60 plus 70, 130, 130 divided by 2, which is 65. So here the midpoint for the first interval, 45. The midpoint for the second interval, 55. The midpoint for the third interval, 65. Now draw a frequency polygon for this data. Prepare this diagram, horizontal line and vertical line. In the vertical line, write the frequency, and in the horizontal line, the mass. Now forget about the intervals. Just look at the midpoints here. Here we have 45, 55, 65. Here you can divide the mass, that's up to you. Here I divide the horizontal line by tens. Skip 10. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. You can divide as 20s or skip 20 or skip 5. That's up to you. Now the frequency, look at the frequency, 4, 12, 8. You can divide the frequency line. That's up to you also. Here I divide the frequency line by skip 4 by 4s. 0, high 4, 8, 12. You can do it by 2s. That's up to you. Now here 45 with 4. 45 with 4. So here the mass here, this is the midpoint. Midpoint. So the midpoint with the frequency, the first one, 45 with 50. This is 45 between 40 and 50, right? This is 45 with 4. Go up. This is 4. So here, this is 45 by 4. The second one, 55 with 12. 55 between 50 and 60. Here with 12. This is 12 point. The last interval, 65 with 8. High 65 between 60 and 70. This is with 8, right? This is 65 with 8. This is 8 here. Then connect these points together. This is a polygon. That's why we call the diagram frequency polygon. It's like polygon, angles, straight lines, angles, like that. So the first step again to draw a frequency polygon, you need to find the midpoint for each class, for each interval. Then draw horizontal and vertical line, the vertical line the frequency, here the midpoint. Then match between the midpoint and its frequency. Let's here solve C. How many students are there in class 8A? How many students? Without looking to the diagram, look at the table. Here's the frequency, here 4 students, here 12 students, 8 students. So how many students are there? You need to find the sum. So 4 plus 12, it's 16. 16 plus 8, which is 24. Yes, 24? Yeah, 24, yeah. 24 students. So here, how many students? 24 students. Now, what fraction of the students have a mass less than 60? Look at the table. Here, the number of students between 40 and 50, between 50 and 60. 60 is not included. So you need to find the number of students that have a mass less than 60. Less than 60. Here from 60 to 70. Don't count 8. Just count 4 plus 12. So we have 4 plus 12 together, 16. So we have 16 students, okay, have a mass less than 60. I think it's obvious, less than 60. Now, to write as a fraction, look, how can I do it? 16 students have a mass less than 60 over the total number of students, which is 24. So we have 16 students have a mass less than 60 out of 24 students in the class. Now, for the homework, just question 1, page 91 from the workbook. Thank you for listening and have a good day.